Hello, this is the Bible in fewer words. We are Carol and Steve Wells. This is episode 54, Leviticus, chapters 26 and 27. Hi, Steve.
Good morning, Carol.
Well, how many chapters are there in Leviticus?
There's 27.
This is the end.
It is.
Very exciting.
It is. It's really exciting. We're going to make it through Leviticus, something that a lot of people don't do because it is a hard book to get through.
Our listeners should pat themselves on the back.
That's right.
I'm doing it right now.
Okay.
Want to go ahead and start?
Okay, chapter 26, verse 1. If you obey my commandments, this of course is God speaking, I'll send rain when you need it, your crops will yield well, and your trees will provide fruit.
Okay, can we stop?
Uh-huh.
What commandments is God talking about in this God speak right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think all of his commandments. And if you listen to Maimonides, then there is, how many? Do you remember the number of commandments?
I want to say 666, but no.
Yeah.
612?
That's close. 613.
Oh, 613.
613 is the magic number. And that, if you ask pretty much anyone, if they give you a number about the number of commandments, that's what they'll give you, because that's the famous number of the number of commandments in the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible.
There are no more commandments after the Torah?
Well, yes, there are, but they usually consider the Torah, or the Pentateuch is what the first 5 books of the Bible is sometimes called, that to be the book of the law. That's where Maimonides ended his list. But if you actually count them up, try to do it yourself, you'll come up with a different number. I did. I think God here is talking about all of the commandments that he has given in the Bible.
Okay. If you obey his commandments, things will go well for you. That's the general idea here.
Yeah, well, in particular, your crops will yield well, and your trees will produce fruit.
You'll have plenty to eat. You'll always be perfectly safe. Perfectly safe.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So those strangers won't come and assault you.
Well, this is just a promise that no one could possibly keep, right?
No. Yeah, with kind of a blanket guarantee.
It's just not safe out there for anyone.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the promise. Verse 6, and you'll live in peace. I'll even remove all of the evil beasts from your land.
Well, that's convenient.
Yeah, no, I guess there would be no lions and tigers and bears or anything that might hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
No parasites, nothing, none of that.
You'll chase your enemies and kill them with a sword.
5 of you will be able to kill 100 of your enemies, and 100 will be able to scare off 10,000. You'll kill all of your enemies with a sword.
So does the math work there?
Well, no, it's a different proportion. One is what? 1 in 20, and the other is 1 in 100.
Oh, but one of them is to kill them, and the other one is to scare them off.
I guess so. Yeah.
That might make sense.
Sure.
If you see your buddy getting killed with a sword, you might run off.
Yeah, I mean, of course, none of it makes sense. This is not something that could possibly happen. Followers of Yahweh are not going to chase away 10,000 other guys.
No.
But anyway, and then the last thing he'll do says,
and I will respect you.
Yeah.
God will respect all of his people.
If they obey his commandments, they'll be safe, they'll have plenty to eat, and they'll be able to defeat all of their enemies, and God will chase them down with his own sword. So it's all good that way. Yes,
I think it's a good life.
Okay, but this is what happens if you don't obey God.
But if you don't obey my commandments, I'll send you terror, consumption, the burning ague that will consume your eyes, and your enemies will eat your children. Okay, so God is not so nice anymore to his people.
No, and he's just getting started here. Well, that's a pretty good start. Having your enemies eat your children is pretty bad.
And a burning ague, do we know what that is?
No, but it'll consume your eyes.
Okay. You'll be killed by your enemies, who will reign over you, and you'll flee when no one pursues you. So you're kind of paranoid.
You're scared of everybody and everything. If you still won't obey me, I'll punish you 7 more times for your sins. I'll make your sky like iron and your earth like brass.
Earth like brass. Not tillable?
I think it's not going to be easy to plant in a brass earth. I don't know what the sky like iron would be like.
If you won't obey me, your crops will fail and your trees will have no fruit.
If you still won't obey me, I'll punish you 7 more times for your sins.
All right, that's a lot.
He repeats this a lot. I'm not repeating it.
Just for fun.
It's actually in the Bible. Yeah, it is fun, and I am doing it because it's silly. He's going to do all these horrible things, and then he's going to punish you 7 more times, and then he's going to punish you 7 more times. But the next one is really a zinger.
I'll send wild beasts to kill your children and cattle. He's just kind of starting to scare me now a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm kind of used to God scaring people.
Yeah. If you still aren't reformed by these things, I'll punish you 7 times more for your sins.
Do we know how many that's going to add up to?
We know it's at least 21 now, right?
Yes. I'll bring the sword upon you, send diseases among you, and deliver you to your enemies.
I like this next one. 10 women will bake bread in one oven, and you still won't be satisfied.
I know. I'm trying to figure out what that is, really. Like, he's going to be really, really hungry, and he won't get enough food. Or it'll be bad food.
I don't know. I think what it is that ordinarily one woman can cook bread in an oven, and you're satisfied. In this case, you could have 10 women cooking bread in your oven, and you still wouldn't be satisfied.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be hard to bake bread, I think is what he's saying here.
Oh, yeah, because they probably won't have any grains, or they won't have any... Yeah, it'll be difficult. If you still won't obey me, I'll punish you how many more times?
Yeah, 7 more. So that's
7
like 28,
more.
I guess.
Yeah, 7 more times for your sins.
And you'll eat the flesh of your sons and your daughters.
Jeepers. Maybe those will be sacrifices to God to try to get him to stop doing the bad stuff.
I don't think it matters to me too much what it's for. If he forces me to eat my children, that's about as bad as someone could possibly do.
Yeah.
Right?
I'll destroy your high places, cut down your images, and cast your dead bodies on the dead bodies of your idols. And my soul will abhor you.
So he's going to kill your idols, who he must think are alive, or he couldn't kill them.
Yeah.
And he's going to throw your dead bodies on the dead bodies of your idols.
That's not a good visual for me.
I'll destroy your cities, and I won't smell your sweet odors.
Well, that'll really piss him off, because he likes to have a sweet savor to the Lord.
Yeah, well, he's not going to smell your sweet savors anymore.
I'll astonish your enemies by destroying your land.
I'll scatter you among the heathen, kill you with a sword, and destroy your cities.
I'll weaken and sadden any of you who survive, and you'll run away when no one pursues you.
I'll kill each of you with the sword, and you will be unable to fight against your enemies.
You'll die among the heathen, and your enemies will eat you.
Whoever survives these things will pine away in their enemies' lands.
So he just sounds like a parent who's just so frustrated with his kids. And he's just like saying stuff that, of course, is not possibly going to happen.
Oh, I've never heard a parent talk this way.
No, you're right.
No, this is far worse than any talk that I think any parent has ever said to a child. And it's almost worse than any person has ever imagined doing to another person. I mean, this is Jeffrey Dahmer stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just going crazy here.
Yeah. But now we're going to get to how the value of human life, what God thinks about, how much people are worth.
Oh, but before that, I think we have to do, God has an alternative here.
Oh, okay, yeah. Good
How
point.
to avoid God's punishments. But if you confess your sins and the sins of your fathers and humble your uncircumcised heart, I'll remember my covenant with Jacob and won't do all these nasty things to you and your children. So, people are being punished for the sins of their fathers.
Yeah, you have to confess your sins and the sins of your fathers.
Yeah,
I'm sorry for what my great-great-grandfather did.
Yes. So now we are at chapter 27, the last chapter in Leviticus. God said to Moses, "If a man makes a vow involving the value of human life, use these estimations. What? What are we doing here?
Well, human life has a value, a dollar value to God, and he's going to give it to us here.
Okay. 20 to 60-year-old males, 50 shekels of silver. Females, 30 shekels.
Yeah, 3/5. It's like they counted black, was it, the Constitution?
Yeah. That's weird.
Okay, 20 to 6.
Wait, I think we need to talk more about that.
Yeah,
Females, 30 shekels.
yeah,
So they're worth less.
yeah, of course. I mean, to God.
Yeah, I mean, they produce life. They create more
Well,
humans.
you don't have to
that
make
can
the
be
argument
worth
to
less.
me. I mean, this is God's, this is what
Yes.
God says.
Okay, what does God say about 5 to 20-year-old males?
They're worth 20 shekels,
And females?
only 10.
All right. 1 month old to 5-year-old males, what are they worth?
They're worth 5 shekels,
And the female of the same age?
is 3.
Okay, how about a baby less than a month old?
Oh, they're worth nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing at all. Yeah, the unborn children, fetuses,
Yeah.
and babies up to 1 month old aren't worth anything in God's estimation.
More than 60-year-old males,
Ah, they're worth 15 shekels.
15 shekels.
So I'm worth 15 shekels.
Yeah, you are.
What are you worth?
A female that is that age is worth 10 shekels.
Yeah. I should say that this shekels, they're talking about shekels of silver.
Uh-huh.
And a shekel of silver was about 8 grams.
Okay.
A gram of silver is worth 73 cents.
Okay.
So just so you know, you happen to be worth, since you're worth 10 shekels,
Uh-huh.
you're worth $7.30.
Well, that's
Kind of an expensive beer,
Yes.
right? Whereas I am worth $10.95.
Uh-huh.
But the most valuable person on earth to God, to the
Yes.
God of the Bible,
Yes.
is worth $36.50. Now, these are today's values. You'll have to
Yes.
check these, for
What it was back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what it would be in the time that you're thinking about. Like in the future, the price will go up and down. But today, that's what human life is worth to God.
So, verse 8, if it's obvious that the person isn't worth as much as my estimated value, the priest will determine the person's worth.
Yeah, so if they're short or kind of funny looking, have damaged testicles or whatever it might be, they're flawed in some way,
Yeah.
then these numbers don't apply, and you need to see your local priest to find out how much you're worth.
Yeah. Less than the average.
It'd be less, yeah. The very most that anybody can be worth is 50 shekels, $36.50 in today's value.
Oh, okay. So there's other things here that looks like you didn't include, Steve.
Yeah, they have the value of animals, but it's not a shekel value. They don't have any. We don't get specifics on that. We have some real estate information about the value of houses. Those also are not. They don't give the actual values for, and it's not very interesting, so I didn't include it. Something about devoted things. We've heard about that before, where firstborn animals and firstborn sons are devoted. And then tithes, and it turns out that tithes are 10%.
Oh.
And I'm leaving that out as well, because we've covered that before, I think.
Yes, we have. Okay, so if people want to see what those are, they can go to Leviticus chapter 27.
Yeah, so that's the end of
Leviticus.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was kind of a little bit of a letdown, I think.
What? Why? What do you mean?
As a woman, it's pretty shocking. I'm just thinking, God, you have to obey him and then he'll protect you. Or if you don't obey him, he'll do all these horrible things to you.
Yeah.
And here's what you do in order to avoid being...
Right. Yeah, it's very clear. I mean, it basically it is if you obey God, everything will be good. If you don't obey him, then God will force you to eat your children and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then we end it with the value of human life. So it's good that God places a value on human life. It's just surprising that it's so low.
Yes, it's very low.
And also that women are valued less than men, children less than their parents, And old people are valued less than people in their prime. It's just a very messed up system. Yeah, but that's Leviticus for you.
Okay. Hey, thank you so much for listening. And we will see you in Numbers.
That's right.
Okay. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.